All right, folks, our inaugural guest on Kilgore's Court. I'm so excited for this one. He is a former WSU defensive lineman. He's got a degree in digital technology and culture. He's also a multimedia designer, content creator, podcaster, and activist. Everybody, please welcome Dallas Hobbs. Welcome, buddy. Welcome. So many fans.
Yeah.
Wow. Welcome, Dallas. How's it going, man?
It's good. It's good. Can't complain.
Right on. Okay. Well, you're basically, I was gonna say, forgot to say this, but you're basically the man of like the man with the ambition of 100 people. That's kind of how it feels. Like your hands are in so many things. Like, where did that ambition come from? What's that all about?
I honestly don't know when it started. Just having a lot of hobbies, and then I just like to experiment a lot with a lot of different things. I think it just slowly started picking up. It started with obviously sports, and then, I guess I've always been into art, and then it's switched to everything else. And then once my break kind of hit around COVID, when I had 3 months off, everything picked up: rug making, podcasting, T-shirt designing. I was just trying to do whatever I could because I've never had 3 months off, in a long time.
Wow,
so
yeah, I bet,
everything
man.
just started happening.
Okay, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, the city of 5 seasons. What, second largest city in Iowa? So, go Hawkeyes? Question mark.
Go Hawkeyes.
Okay.
My dad played at Iowa, so.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what was it like coming from a city with like 100,000+ people to little old Pullman?
Iowa's Iowa, so it's not like I'm coming from California,
Yeah.
where it's, every city's over whatever, just a large number. So it's an easier transition. There's a lot of rural spots in Iowa that kind of look like Pullman. So it was almost the same concept in a way, obviously. I would say I'm more from an area like Spokane. That's like a close reference where it's a downtown, but then it's spread out pretty far, and there's rural areas, and there's everything going on. So that's more like my hometown, and then Pullman's like a college town, more like Iowa City. My dad played at the University of Iowa, so spent a lot of time up there, and yeah, so it wasn't a huge jump for me, not like, California kids or like Florida kids, and obviously the weather wasn't much different for me either.
Yeah,
so.
I bet. You got to have you ever been to the West Side?
I've been to the West Side a couple times, not too much.
A lot different.
Yeah, a lot different. That's what I thought I was getting my hands into, more some, evergreen trees, some hiking paths, something more like that. That's what I thought Washington was, like all the way across the board.
No, it literally is just like divided into 2 separate states, essentially.
Yeah, you can hit everything. Sand dunes, there's everything in Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so, some actors like Ashton Kutcher, Elijah Wood, there's a lot of culture in just from Cedar Rapids itself, like art and history, they take a ton of pride in that. Like, did any of that inspire you? What do you kind of take from where you were born?
I would say there's a lot of different, it's diverse. It's really diverse. A lot of people don't think Iowa that way, but I've met all kinds of different people, whether it's sports, artists, musician, a lot of my friends spread their wing once they got out of Iowa, but it shows, they had a lot of hobbies going on during that time, and they've opened up to professional careers with that stuff. So, I took a lot of the stuff I picked up through the city of Cedar Rapids, and it's kind of just carried with me, and, I'll always represent Cedar Rapids. It's where I was most of my life. But no, I'd say Iowa's a great place, and it taught me a lot just from everyone there.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, you definitely spread your wings.
Oh, yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
So 5-year Coug, 5 years with the football team, defensive lineman, since you were a redshirt freshman in 2018. So you were in the program for 3 different head coaches?
Yes.
So you caught Mike Leach at like the tail end?
Yep, I was Mike Leach 2 years.
Okay.
Yep.
You got any Mike Leach stories? I got to ask.
Everything you see Mike Leach on camera, that's the same way he was with us. He's a character for sure. It's always funny. Just the different stories he'll bring up in team meetings. It could be we're talking about football, and then all of a sudden we're talking about presidents, or we're talking about the Civil War, or we're talking about pirates. You don't know what was going to come in. You don't know what he was going to start with. So
are you guys like all looking at each other like while he's going off on tangents? Like what
yeah, you're like, what did he just say? Let's go back a few steps, and then he'll just keep on going with it, and just throw little things in. It was definitely interesting to engage with him and just see how he operated.
Was he still able to like motivate you guys? Was he still able to kind of reach in and have those charismatic moments, or was that kind of from within the team?
Yeah, he still had speeches that a normal football coach would have, just some speeches like that. But then there was obviously at the end of it something would be thrown in, where it'd be like, oh. Okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah, kind of like Jameis Winston moments.
Yeah, there's probably some stuff like that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, well, obviously also Nick Rolovich, Jake Dickert. I mean, how have you seen this team evolve into what it is now? Obviously, a ton of changes. Like, I guess, let's start there, and then I'll ask you about Jake Dickert.
Yeah, no, the team, obviously, since I got here in 2017, has changed a lot, but that's how a football team is, especially when there's coaches changes. Once players want to go here, players go there, it changes a lot. But I'd say the leadership in the core group of guys stayed around most of my time, so that kind of stayed the same, like the core values of leadership, but it changed to the coaches and, cultures changed and stuff just kind of changes with the guys that are there, the coaches that are there. There was a lot of change all throughout, a lot of good happened. It goes both ways,
Right.
Sometimes people fall out that you enjoyed a lot, like coaches. I had different position coaches that I enjoyed a lot, but then I also had other coaches that came in and I enjoyed them a lot more too. So it was like you got it both ways, and you kind of just learn to adapt and figure it out because there's always a lot of change in college football, whether it's coaches, players, administrators, the playbook. It's definitely a variety of change. You kind of just, that's the way of the game. You just got to get used to it and find where you fit in and figure it out from there.
I mean, obviously you're still super close with the team. Mm-hmm. Like, what's the biggest difference with Dickert now versus, and it doesn't even have to be like versus a certain head coach or anything like that. What do you see that's different? Because this team feels special. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've had some tough losses, but this team does feel special for a variety of reasons. Especially, I mean, the defense has turned over a new leaf. It feels like. Yep. What's so different about Jake Dickert's coaching style and the team in general?
I think everyone just finally bought in, with a lot of hard times that we've gone through, COVID, and a lot of other situations where, a short season and people going, people leaving, people coming, you kind of just finally found a group that really coexisted together and found the right leadership skills and characteristics to kind of just mesh well, and it fit with all the coaches that came in, and everything kind of just blended together, and it's the best mix of pot I think you can have. And that's showing up on the field, off the field, and just the way everything is presented. Obviously, I don't see it from the player side as much because I'm not in those meetings. I'm not around them as much. I'm just making art and making stuff look good.
Sure.
So I see it kind of from the outside in, but, as a player being in the program, you understand where those changes are, and a lot of good things have happened, and it's just cool to see how we've evolved into what we are now where, both sides of the ball are just moving, and we haven't even played our best football yet. A lot of people are saying that. So we're still a young team in terms of a lot of things going on. So it's exciting to what it can be and what the program can be.
So I mean, you're in Coug Creative now. You didn't go far. So you said it is from outside looking in. Do you still stay tight with a lot of those players?
Oh yeah. Because I mean, there's not as many, but for the most part, there's at least. I played with most of them, but of my good friends, there's still that I played with throughout the years. There's at least like 10 guys that have been here for the last 3 years that I know pretty well. I'm really good friends with. So, I'm still close with them. They come in the office. We used to be on the 4th floor by the cafeteria, so they used to come in a lot more. Now we're on the 5th floor, so those make their way up there. But
it's kind of out of the way.
Yeah, it's a little out of their way. They can't grab the food and then come bug us. Yeah. Now it's kind of just they'll make their way up if they need to. But no, I'm still close with all of them, and it's still almost the same relationship. There's a little bit more separation now, but yeah, it's always great.
What do you think of Cam Ward, man?
Oh, that's a great guy. He's very interesting on and off the field. Just the way he can move on the field, his awareness is pretty crazy, and then just off the field, he's a funny guy. And he's very young, so he's still figuring out where he fits. So it's exciting for him, and it's a great person to have at the helm of this.
All right, man. We're almost done talking football, I promise. But that decision to not take your final year of eligibility, that had to be hard. Like, what did you already kind of have your new future in the works long before that? Kind of take me through that period of your life.
Yes and no. Like, I obviously had stuff going on, opening up a brewery, had already been doing freelance work, was at the forefront of NIL stuff and just networking a lot. So I saw what I could do outside of football, whether it's graphic design, whether it's business, whatever it be. Just some entrepreneurship came out. So I kind of had an idea of what I wanted to do. I didn't have the timeline. And all of that kind of happened faster, kind of the decision, and just ready to roll with it and, move forward. I've been in Pullman for a while. I was on the team. I took everything out of it. I took all the resources, everything I needed, school-wise, connection-wise, everything, and took it all. So I'll never complain about my time in Pullman because it's been amazing, and I wouldn't have most of the opportunities I have without coming here. So really grateful. But no, it definitely was a weird situation, and it didn't really hit me until this season started when I wasn't out there.
Oh, yeah.
Like practice, I kind of was like, okay, that was practice. But once that first Saturday came around, I'm like, oh, I'm up here and not down there. It was a little weird, but I figured it out. I'm having fun. Our creative crew is the best, going to be one of the best in the country, I
100%.
hope. We have a stacked group, the 4 of us that are full-time, and then I think we have like 5 interns now that are doing a great job. So we have a really good squad that's doing some great things, so I can't complain. I go in every day, have a good crew I get to mess around with, create some cool stuff, and it's just a good opportunity.
Well, that's a perfect segue, man. Coug Creative, they've seemed like they've stepped up their game tremendously in recent seasons. Production value, overall quality, where did you guys kind of start, and how have you guys evolved? Because some of the graphics that you're making now, the hype up videos, they are top tier, like things that you would see the best of the best in the pros make.
Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of you guys are college students.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're all under 27, I want to say. So we're a young crew. Our youngest one that just came on is Carson. He's 20, finishing up college right now, but he's talented. And then we got Bryce. He's went to WSU, grew up in Pullman, and then Bailey. She grew up on the East Coast and came over. But it's just the resources, that we have been given. They've bought into the creative media side, and that helps so much. We have 4 full-time creative, 2 videographers, 2 graphic designers, and then we all do a mix of everything. We kind of blend together. But before it was just Bryce.
Wow.
And then
when was that?
Bryce was solo 2018. And then they brought on someone, that guy left. Bryce was by himself for another 2 years. And then they brought in Tim and Bailey. And then Tim left. But then I got hired kind of when Tim was transitioning out. And then we brought on Carson. So we now have 4 full-time, 5 interns our interns are very talented and they're learning. Like some of them are better than where I was and our whole group was at their time. So we have some great people that are learning from us and contributing just as much. There's a lot of interns that are helping with some social pieces, helping with the ideation of stuff. So it's just a good group to have, and when you have that many creative brains functioning, our room gets pretty crazy sometimes when we're all in there and things are just being said and flying around and ideas are just going around, but it's a great squad and I'm grateful to have all of them.
Well, a lot of the Cable 8 people have met Mason as well.
Yeah,
she's insane.
She'll be the one. This is our first set of kind of interns with our group. She's the one, standing out a whole bunch, making some crazy videos. But then we brought in some new graphic designers that are really doing some good stuff. And then we have a couple other videographers that are in the comm major as well that are, really doing some cool things too. Wow. So it's they all have their specialties, whether it's TikTok, whether it's, hype pieces, whether it's storytelling. They're all coming together to do some great things. So it's good to have them. And, some of them, Mason, we still have for another year and a half. So we have some young cats taking over still, and it will be a good time.
Shout out Coug Creative, shout out Mason. Like all of them are incredible, and I have no doubt that you guys are going to be top in the country if you're not already. I mean, again, you take a look at some of the other universities, especially the high dollar ones. The Oregons and a lot of those high dollar Pac-12 schools. Mm-hmm. And they're still not quite competing with what you guys are putting together. I mean, just kind of looking at it in that context. 9 people are creating some incredible stuff. So, yeah. I mean, that's amazing. It's cool. And
I think the piece that we're bringing is the storytelling, connecting with the community, telling the side of our players. It's not just hype pieces. We're bringing in characteristics of, we have funny guys like the uniform reveal this week. Nick and D.
I loved it.
We brought it together and added funny plays and stuff. We're playing off what our players are good at and what they have the skill set and pulling those into all the stuff we create. So
and had
it
Day
helps
on
there.
welding recently.
Yeah, we pulled in the welding shop and put together a whole shield. Everything we've been doing is just a big brainstorming idea of, hey, we're not just going to do a hype piece. We're going to either bring the community in, take a part of what we have in our hands with players and use them to their best ability. So it's a good mix, and I think that's what's making us stand out, is that we're not just doing normal hype pieces, but we're storytelling everything we have, and we're putting a lot into it.
Yeah, man, that's incredible. Keep killing it. All right, let's talk about what you've got going on, which is a ton. Co-founder, co-owner of Common Language Brewing Company in Spokane. That opened back in February, right?
Got a little delayed. It ended up, it was, what was it? It was so many different things.
Sure.
Originally it was supposed to be in Pullman, but it's jumped around, and then it officially opened, I want to say March 2nd.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. April and March. I always forget the exact date because it jumped so many times. But I think we're about going on 6 months of being open, so it's going well.
Okay, first of all, how's that going?
It's going well.
Yeah.
It's a new art medium. So I'm director of marketing design. Obviously, I've done all the social media stuff before, but it's the can design that I fell in love with. They give me a name of the beer, and I just go to town. They call me Post-it note that turns into magic, because once I get an idea, I'll sketch it on a Post-it note. I'll send them a text. They'll be like, "Okay, kindergarten drew that." They'll be like, "We'll wait to see what happens," and then it will just turn into what it turns into. So I create like crazy, like elaborate environmental scenes on the can art that not too many breweries are doing it because they don't have in-house designers. So that's been my favorite thing to do, just get a name and turn stuff into something. So hopefully I can submit some of those cans for some awards in marketing and can label design. So finding that out and just figuring out when I can submit those. So it's probably my new favorite art medium. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. By the way, speaking of the Post-it note thing, I want to throw up an image of when we beat the Cal Golden Bears. You had a before and after tweet.
Yep.
Of the Bears got schooled, right?
Yeah.
And so you just drew I'd say it was a little bit better in kindergarten,
Yeah.
right? But drew a little sketch of what you wanted in there, and then what ended up coming out was something that was so incredible and had so many like minute details and Easter eggs that like a lot of people, unless they're super fans, would have missed.
Yeah.
Like, how much pride do you take in the small things now?
Yeah, it's the small things are the biggest part of it, because it kind of seals the deal of like, okay, yeah, you see these big pieces that are happening, but then if you zoom in, like there's a photo frame that has a picture that we use from first day of school, or there's like a ram stuffed animal, or I put a badger in the trash can. Like there's a whole bunch of hidden stuff that I kind of just hide around. All of my posters have had Easter eggs. You just kind of have to find them. Some of them there's a lot more, some of them there's a little less. But it's fun because it's the smaller stuff that kind of ties it all together now. Like obviously I got good at the main concept of stuff, but now it's like focusing on lighting, shading, color, just random stuff now that really tie it together more. So it's been fun, and it's exciting to do that. And I've been sharing before and afters now. It used to be just sketches, but now I time lapse everything so you can see the whole process from start to finish.
Yeah.
Because my sketches, it's more, all right, I get the idea, let me just write it down real quick, and that's what it is. Because I got to get into Photoshop and touch a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm not going to sit there and make a elaborate sketch, because most of the time it's going to change.
Right.
So now I do the time lapse, and that shows the whole process.
Yeah. No, I've seen those too, and
Yeah.
The creative process is awesome. It's you're definitely well organized in how you handle it. Okay, let's go back to the brewery. How did that even come about? Like, take me back to the origins there.
Yeah, so that was a pretty crazy situation. Half luck, half professionalism in the portfolio I already had. I was approached by someone in the DTC, a dean. I think it was the dean of the DTC, or one of the administrators somewhere around. They were all like, it was a long email thread that finally came together. But the brewery, the original partners, were looking for someone to just design logos, and that's all I was going to do. So I got freelance out to do logos. I obviously had already done some logos for people and had some clientele built up in a portfolio, but gave them logos after a whole bunch of, there's 3 name changes, location change. I think I designed over probably like 200 different logos.
Wow. For this brewery?
Yeah, for this brewery.
Wow,
when we switched multiple different names. So I told them we were Speaking Bird at one point, and I designed probably 200 different birds. So I told them I'm never touching a bird again. But that jumped around. So then I gave them good work. None of them were originally from Washington. so they kind of didn't understand the community we'd serve. And I told them, hey, I've been here for going on 6 years. Well, at the time, like 4 or 5. And I told them, hey, this community we can serve, because the biggest play of the brewery is that we're trying to give back to whatever community we were part of, to underrepresented community, to the homeless, to women's program, to children program. We give 25% of our proceeds. So we've already had multiple events. We're giving back to the Cougar Athletic Fund. We've set up a whole bunch of stuff where we're trying to do more for the community we're in, which is Spokane. So it's mainly just touching the Spokane area. So it's been cool to create art, to create good beer, and then market it out and say, hey, you're not only buying this beer, but you're giving back to the community. You're helping out a variety of different community engagement programs and organizations. So that's the reason I really got behind it. But then they were like, hey, we need a graphic designer. We'd like to offer you ownership. Obviously, I took it, and so co-owner, co-founder, and then director of marketing and design.
Well, that's super interesting to me, because a lot of times, like a startup company,
you don't jump to that right away.
Right. You start with, you make sure you're going to survive and make money first, and then philanthropy comes later. You guys started that with like a mission statement and origin in mind. Yeah,
to show that, hey, this is what we are about.
You're invested.
We're starting off with it, and we're not going to be able to give a lot from the start, but as we go on, you'll see our timeline that from day one, we were giving back. From day one, right when we opened, I think we had an event with the Women Helping Women Fund, and we gave back a whole bunch of proceeds to them. And it's just cool to see from the start we've been giving back, and we've been part of a whole bunch of different organizations just to raise money. So it's a cool business model to be around, because it's not just, hey, we're making beer and we're trying to get our money back, we're trying to do this, but we're giving back to the community at a high percentage of 25%. So it's cool, and it makes us have a better reason for creating more proceeds, to create and do better, just because we know we need to give back this 25% too, and it pushes us to do better.
That's amazing. Okay, so you've also got Hobbs Design, right, for digital and print designs. You've got Creators Collective for custom apparel and merch. You've even had a couple podcasts. Are either of those still going?
So one disappeared just because it was with other athletes, and then once I stepped away from athletics, it was kind of not a conflict of interest, but couldn't do it as much, just to not talk about all that stuff with other athletes. So, and they also went to other schools as grad transfers. So that one fell off. And then as I was getting in the brewery industry, my roommate, college roommate, Johan, was working at a brewery in Moscow. I was starting to open up a brewery. I was like, I don't know anything about beer. So we started a podcast to review beer, talk about beer, and just have a space to talk, and then we ended up posting it. We're on busy schedules, so we don't do that one as much. So those ones are kind of falling off. Hazy Sessions, the beer one, comes and goes. It will start happening again once this season kind of dies down. But I was like, all right, I need one for myself, so I'm on my own time. So there will be one coming out. It was supposed to come out 8 months ago. Got episode 1 in, a few other episodes in, so I'm going to start releasing that one soon. And that's just me, no other co-hosts, and just bringing on a whole lot of different athletes, artists, musicians, and just giving them a platform, because I've had a platform that allowed me success. So I want to share, mental health stuff with athletes, the grind of one of my friends that I'll be interviewing was a Division II basketball player, quit basketball in 2 years, and now is about to be a big major musician here soon. So just showing how I've connected with all these people and seen us grow. So it's a cool opportunity. That one will hopefully start coming out soon. I'll probably wait till the season's over.
Got a name for it?
More.
More?
Yeah, so whatever industry you're in, you're going to learn more about it, whether it's an athlete. You're not just going to learn about what's happening on the field. It's going to be off the field. If you're a musician, it's not about music you're making. It's the struggles you're going through, mental health. So there's a whole lot on that one that I need to speak about, just because I went through 5 years of college athletics. A lot happens, I've seen a lot happen. So it's just a place for me. It's more my therapeutical zone too, because I get to share and unleash whatever I have to say. And I just got cool people to talk to about it and just share what they got going on. So that one will be coming out soon, and hopefully it's probably after season we'll release it.
So like on all the streaming platforms,
all
Spotify,
the streaming,
Apple.
So,
yeah. Keep a lookout for more. That's going to be awesome. Okay, obviously you got a ton of stuff. What does the future hold for you, man? Like, do you stay in Pullman? Because let me tell you, the kind of product and quality you're putting out right now, as much as you were beloved here, I feel like it's only a matter of time before that skill really gets noticed and like some sort of big break hits. Is it just sky's the limit? What's
it's kind of wherever it takes me. I've obviously been in Pullman so long. I never thought I was going to be in Pullman this long.
Yeah.
I love Pullman. I can never complain. I have a great group of people I'm working with, so I can't. I'd hate to leave that. But if an opportunity comes, I do want to spread my wings a little bit. I do want to put some focus on the brewery. So, whatever happens and comes, I'd say there's no timeline on it because everything has kind of just happened. I've kind of just rolled with life, and whatever happens, happens, and I take it. So I've kind of just been relying off that, but we'll see where it takes me. I do want to, at some point, step outside of sports just because I've done sports for so long, just kind of hop into another industry, whether that's the brewing industry or through freelance work, more lifestyle. Whatever happens, happens. We'll see when that moment comes. But I have a great group right now, great job right now. Pullman, staying around the team. But at some point, I think I need to leave Pullman just for a little bit.
Yeah.
You can always come back to Pullman. But I
They'll
need to go
always
see.
welcome you back.
I gotta go see the world. I've been playing sports all my life. I've never been able to travel. Just recently, I've done more in Pullman and Moscow than I've done in the 6 years I've been here. Our creative group, interns and everyone, will do photo adventures. So we went to Seven Devils Mountain, did a star lapse, and camped that all out.
Wow.
And we've just went all over the place. And once the season ends, we're going to go to Canada. We're just using our creative ability to bond outside of the office and do some fun stuff. So it's been really cool, and I'm starting to see everything that's happening in the Northwest.
Man, that's incredible. Yeah, I'll be cheering you on wherever the heck I am.
I appreciate
man.
it.
That's incredible. Okay, lastly, I saved this for last, and you know what's coming. I'm really excited to talk about this one. You're a big wrestling fan, pro wrestling fan, right? Me too. So I remember seeing when you first did the job announcement, you also said you tried out for the WWE.
Yep.
First of all, I want to know I want to talk about that, but who is your all-time favorite wrestler? Do you still watch these days? Like what?
I do watch a little bit now, not as much, just because I'm busy. I don't even watch too much sports or anything.
Of course.
I'm making art like 24/7, so or just watching some other TV because sports was my whole life, so I try not to watch as much of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
I
I kind of step away from it a little bit, so I don't watch too much of sports. But growing up, Undertaker.
That's my all-time favorite, man.
Undertaker. We're staying up late with my cousin. We used to do it every weekend, watching, WWE, SmackDown, like all that stuff all night. And then you'd go and play the game. You stay up late.
Yep.
You'd end up trying some of the moves on the couch or an air mattress. Whatever happened. So it was always a good time. And when that happened, I think I got a DM, and I was like, this got to be fake. But then it had the blue check mark, and they reached out. And they were
from
like,
WWE themselves.
Yeah. So they reached out, and that's how it all happened. I was like, all right, I got to do this. Just let me go try this out, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Did you just tweet that you wanted to try out? How did that happen?
No, they reached out to me. So a big thing they're doing is now reaching out to a lot of college athletes because why not follow that market on? So it's a smart thing because once not everyone makes it to professional, so then they pick them up as WWE superstars or NXT superstars to start out. So it was cool. When I went down there, it was I think it was 60 of us. Probably 40 of them were Division I football or basketball players. Mm-hmm. And then all the women were mixed martial artists, 10-time black belt. It was a cool group to connect with, and I still talk to all of them. We have a group chat.
That's so sick.
And it's cool just to see all that. So it was just a crazy experience to see all these people together. It was hard. It was the hardest 3 days of my life, I would say.
Really?
It was 4 hours straight of ring running, learning, taking bumps, rolling. My body was pretty beat up after, and I was like, wow, this is crazy, because not only you have to do that, but you also have to do the entertainment and show side of it. So find your character, stay in character, and do stuff like that. So it was a crazy experience. I was grateful to be a part of it. I obviously didn't make it to the next step, but I would have had to pack up, move to Orlando, do all that. So it would have been a crazy decision, and that's when I say whatever happens, happens. So I kind of just go with the flow. So that was a crazy experience, but it was definitely fun just to see that. I met Triple H.
I was going to ask you who all you met.
Yeah, no, I met Triple H.
What was that like?
It was cool. Shook his hand, took a photo with him. He's a great dude, I've never really watched any WWE interviews, so outside the ring I didn't really ever encounter, Triple H. So seeing him outside the ring and talking with him, he just was there coaching everyone up, talking about life stuff. So it was cool to just see all that.
He is really like taking that inspirational and mentorship role
seriously.
Oh yeah.
He's full develop. I don't forget what his exact title is, but he's.
Well, now that Vince is out of the picture, at least creatively, like he's head of creative.
Yeah, or something. So he's developmental, but he's taking it on, and everything they're doing now is really cool.
Yeah.
And I'm still in contact with, I think, the 10 people that made it to Orlando, and we talk all the time. They're all getting their names. They're all
starting to go on the road to NXT.
Yeah, they're on the road to NXT. Get on the NXT card. A lot of them are getting their pre-show, so it's just cool to see everything happening and all that going on. And it was a cool experience, and I'll never complain about it because it was fun just to be a part of that. And not too many people say they can try out for the WWE.
Dude, that's like a dream of mine.
Yeah, so it was fun.
I got to recently broadcast for this is Grays Harbor on the west side.
Okay.
That's where I'm from. But they've got a wrestling promotion, small time, that's starting up called Rogue Wrestling Attractions, and I got to broadcast their first show for them. And I got to get in the ring, like take a bump, which, by the way, forgot to let my arms back and stuff. So it was like almost took the breath out of me. I'm like,
taking a bump was rough.
Oh man,
I
threw myself back a couple times just to kind of get it, and it was just like, dog.
Yeah, no, it was rough.
Yeah, but it was an awesome experience. Like, okay, so did you come up with a character? Did you do some promos? Like what
we had to get into character as part of the tryout to get into character, and you kind of get a script, and you'd be babyface or heel.
Yeah.
And kind of that's what you get, and you'd have to get a promo script to read, get into character. Then we did group promotions, so you had to get your whole group and prepare it, and then get up in front of everyone. So it's a cool experience, and I know a lot of people are being approached by them to try it, and I'd say go ahead and try it because it's a fun time. If I would have known exactly what it was, I think I could have prepared a little bit better for it. But it was still a good experience, and I don't think I was ready to move down to Florida anyways. But it definitely would have been fun.
You say you want to see the world. If the floor just falls out, I'll hit the weights with you, man. We'll be the best tag team in the world.
Yeah, come on.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. That's been the dream. Do you have any good wrestling impressions? Did you ever grow up like trying to imitate them or anything?
Not really. I was more just trying to do all the moves and stuff, and Ed Hardy and just freaking doing all that stuff. So
yeah. Okay. Can I do a couple for you? Can I get your approval? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So at my buddy's wedding, I was the best man, and I did I did like part of the speech in Stone Cold Steve Austin's voice. So it was like, you sit there and you thump your Bibles and you say your prayers, and it didn't get you anywhere. Talk about your Psalms. Talk about John 3:16. Austin 3:16 says, "I just whipped your ass." You like that?
That's a good one.
Yeah. What? You like that?
Yeah. You got the promo side of it then.
Oh yeah. I don't have the muscles or anything, but yeah. No, I've done a few. My brother's 10 years older than me, so like we grew up watching the super tapes, like the Coliseum home video. So we're talking Hogan days, and like Andre and stuff. And so, yeah, I've been a fan forever now.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Okay, well that's gonna do it for the interview side. We've got something really fun coming up. Hold on. Let me channel this again. Oh, you know something, Dallas? We've got some Water Wars coming up, and we've got the title belt on the line, yeah. So stay tuned, Kilgore's Court. We'll be right back with the Water War, yeah. Did you know? Kilgore's Court has merch. Make sure you check out this sick baseball tee, plus all sorts of other t-shirts, hats, yes, even baby onesies. We've got something for everybody on the website below. Just make sure you check out that link, and you can get access to Kilgore's Court merch, as well as all of the other WSN shows. All the shows, all the merch, all the time. All right, welcome back to Kilgore's Court. I've got Dallas Hobbs here, and this is Water War. 5 rounds, 5 cards. The high card, whoever wins each round gets to splash the other person in the face. This is for the World Heavyweight Championship. I refuse to lose, but in the unfortunate circumstance that I do, we've got a splash cam on my chest. So, let's put this out of the way. All right, Dallas, you ready?
Ready.
All right, I'll have you go ahead first. Your hand's on the right there, which has been meticulously shuffled, by the way. All right, go ahead, tell me what you got.
King.
Yeah, I like my odds already. All right. A 9.
I'm not that great at math, but I think I win.
Yeah. Go for it.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, that was just as amazing as I imagined it would feel. Yeah, maybe aim a little bit farther up. Oh, everything is cold. Okay, that's round 1. Oh, yeah, that's nice. Okay.
I think I'm going.
Thank you, Monique. Oh, you think so?
I'm going long so you shoot it off after that.
Yeah, these are full cups, ladies and gentlemen. This is definitely double the regulation of Pong, I'd say. Okay. All right, round number 2. Go ahead, buddy. Oh. 7. Okay. I don't know, man. Okay, a jack. All right. You ready? All right, I'll try to make sure I swing upward. Cheers.
That is cold.
I got a little bit more. There you go. Oh, yeah. Oh.
Got the water weight pants.
Yeah, you were smart, man. The slacks are, they're getting every single bit of this. Okay, this deck of cards is ruined, by the way. Oh, man. Okay, thank you, Monique. Shout out Monique, by the way. She's,
I think we should have went for the small red solo cups. The little mini.
The shots, the little shot guys. Yeah, maybe a little Dixie cup. I'm kind of questioning everything now. Yeah, they told me we need a lot of towels and whatever. Okay, go ahead, buddy. Third round. So it's tied at 1-1. Here we go.
9.
A 9. Freaking 4, dude. Oh, you're gonna hit the face this time, aren't you? Yeah. Oh man. I think I might have liked the torso better. I think I'm. Oh, this is awesome. All right, 2-1 you. Yeah, go ahead and send it. I'm soaked, so.
4.
A 4? That's, yeah, well, knowing my luck. Okay, a 6. Oh, shoot, I guess we need the next cup. All right, come on in, Monique, sorry about that.
Shit.
Oops. All right, thank you. Dallas, prepare to meet your fate, bud. Got any words here?
I wish I was a waterbender.
Yeah, you and me both. Maybe I could wick all the stuff off my clothes. All right, I'm gonna give it the waterbender treatment. Yeah. Okay. All right, so we're tied up at 2-2. Sudden death. Whoever gets this round wins the whole thing, wins the title.
I don't think these pants are waterproof anymore.
They're not waterproof?
I think it's just some rain a little bit.
Yeah, we found out the truth with this, didn't we? Okay, all right, 5th round, you ready, man? This is for all the marbles.
Yeah.
It's for the World Heavyweight title. Go ahead. A 3?
A 3.
I gotta have this. I gotta win this, baby. Let's go. Okay.
Drum roll, please.
No way! No! A 2. Okay. All right. Well, you win. Let's. Yeah, just nice puddles.
Oh, hold on.
Huh? Oh, thank you. Oh, that went straight up the nose, bro. Oh, okay, well, Dallas, take your rightful claim. Your winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Dallas Hobbs. All right, buddy. All right. There's your camera there, or wherever. I don't know. There's your camera there. Tell everyone what you got going on.
New Water world champion. That's a tongue twister right there. But I appreciate being on the show. Thanks for having me.
Yep.
Dallas Hobbs. Find me on Instagram, d.h0bbs, and then on there's podcast tag, design accounts tagged on there. Twitter, dhobbs92, Cougs Creative, whatever you want to follow the crew. I'm active on social media, so you'll find me. But pleasure.
Dallas Hobbs, give it up, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! Yeah. Thanks for being on here, man.
Of course.
And congratulations. I don't know if I'll have you defend that, but man, it made for some good TV.
We can take you to the ring next time.
Oh, baby. Hey, World Tag Team Champs, remember that. Remember that. All right, guys, that'll do it for Dallas Hobbs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We're going to have more Kilgore's Court coming up, but I'm going to have to, at the very least, throw some stuff in the dryer first. We'll be right back. Now, obviously, it's no secret that we have a lot of fun here on Kilgore's Court, but I want to leave you guys with something on a more serious note. This is the final ruling. Now, I've got a bone to pick with the NFL and specifically Amazon Prime Video's production for Thursday Night Football. Dolphins versus the Bengals. Now, I'm a sports broadcasting major, and I love it. There's nothing that makes me more passionate. I pay close attention to the broadcasts, the sound, the production. I'm a nerd for this stuff. Now, they had the great Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit on this broadcast. I dream of sitting in one of those chairs one day. And what they had to do during this broadcast was unfortunate and unnecessary. Midway through the second quarter, after taking a couple of cringy hits, Tua Tagovailoa gets wrapped up and slammed to the ground hard, spine first, with his head following soon after. I watched it live. Now, there could be a real argument made here that Tua shouldn't have been on the field at all. He had just suffered a back injury, which Dolphins staff thought was a head injury a week prior, and then he went back in the game, that same game. But that's another rant entirely. My major issue is the sheer abundance of times that we saw that specific close-up of Tua lying motionless on the ground. I saw Tua's unconscious body, fingers stuck in a crooked stasis that made me sick to my stomach. I thought I might have just witnessed a man get paralyzed on the field. Thankfully, he was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, and we learned around halftime that Tua could move his extremities and was conscious. However, he remained on the ground through 3 commercial breaks, and after each and every one, we saw this replay. Now, I understand having Al and Kirk address the elephant in the room. They even got an expert's opinion. That's great. But they could have just sent it back to the broadcasters in real time. Show some footage of the stadium, the players rallying around him. I understand that this wasn't a gruesome and gory injury like perhaps Kevin Ware's compound fracture years ago in the NCAA tournament, but it was plenty gruesome enough. Why did we have to see this man in one of the worst moments of his life and football career, unconscious and stiff like a corpse, over and over? I must have saw it at least 4 times, but it was likely more. If somebody really wants to see something that gruesome, they will just find the clip on Twitter. I promise you. Now, I don't want to come off as holier than thou or anything like that, but this production decision was unnecessary and sickening. You would assume that no doubt Tua's immediate family was at the stadium. But what about extended family? They had to watch this along with the rest of the world repeatedly. So Amazon Prime, NFL, Jeff Bezos, anybody that would encourage coverage like this, do better. It's unacceptable. And that is my final ruling. Thanks for tuning in, guys. You can follow WSN on Wazoo Sports Network on Instagram, Wazoo Sportsnet on Twitter, and of course, Cable 8 on YouTube, where you can find my show as well as all the others. I'm Luke Kilgore. Thank you so much for tuning in on this episode of Kilgore's Court. Go Cougs. We'll see you next time. Court dismissed.